Hello everyone and welcome to the summer edition of our Greater Vancouver Market Update for July 2023. Our goal with these videos is to provide you with unbiased, unspun analysis of the Greater Vancouver housing market. If you find this information valuable, please give us a like, drop a comment down below, and make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any future episodes. Alright, it's been a very interesting last few weeks in the market, and based on the news that dropped on the morning that this video was recorded, the next few months should be that much more fascinating. The news that I'm referring to, of course, is the Bank of Canada raising their overnight rate for a second consecutive month and now hitting a whopping 5%. This is the highest that we've seen rates in 22 years. But when you read the press release that accompanied the stats package from the real estate board, it's mostly all sunshine and rainbows. So what's the real deal? For that, let's take a closer look at the numbers. All right, let's get started by taking a look at the sales figures, which registered at 2,988 transactions, which represents a 12.4 drop from the previous month. Now, a month-over-month drop from May to June is to be expected, as May typically represents the peak of market activity in any given year. However, on a year-over-year basis, last month's sales volume was 21% higher than what we saw at this time last year. Now, as I covered in my last video, this stat will make a great headline for all the market bulls out there, but in reality, the market was an absolute shambles at this time last year. So any remotely average year would have double-digit gains over what we saw happening last June. From a historical perspective, a seasonal perspective, these figures were 8.6% below the 10-year average for the month. So look, that's not bad. For me, until you hit double digits, you can kind of make the argument that we had a pretty average month. Not great, but not bad. And more or less, that is how it felt like over the last 30 days or so. Next, let's take a look at our inventory levels, coming in at 9,990 total listings, which is a 7.5% increase from May, and interestingly, the highest number of listings we have seen since July 2022. And when we look at the trajectory of listings, which represents supply, and the trajectory of sales, which represents demand, we can see that the market has shifted, because not only are listings outpacing sales, but they're rising while sales are actually dropping. As a result, our months of inventory jumped up to 3.3 MOI. Now, 3.3 is still an extremely tight market with very limited options for prospective buyers. And as a result, the home price index has continued its upward ascent as well to just over 1.2 million, an increase of 1.3% over the previous month. This marks 6 straight months of price growth, according to our board anyway, with prices now nearly back to the peaks that we saw in early 2022. But those are just the numbers. So for what's happening out on the streets, let's get into this month's Boots on the Ground. From a strictly anecdotal perspective, I feel like a lot of air has been let out of the balloon over the last 30 days or so. And what I mean by that is just the pressure that was felt in the market in the last few months. The frenzy that we experienced in April and May has definitely subsided. It feels like there are simply less buyers out there at the moment. So rather than that pressure being eased by a drastic jump in inventory, which we were all waiting for, it feels more like some buyers are taking a bit of a step back to assess the situation. And I think more importantly, to reassess what that mortgage payment is going to look like in the current interest rate environment. When the June 7th rate increase happened, I heard a lot of people in the industry saying, oh, the market's super strong, a 25 basis point increase is marginal, and doesn't affect payments that much. But the truth of the matter is that that's the Bank of Canada's increase. Remember, lenders still need to make theirs on top of that. And ever since that rate hike, and even before that rate hike, because they could see all of this coming, lenders have been ramping up their rates from manageable sub 5% levels to well over 6%. Here are the current posted rates at CIBC and BMO as just two examples. Both banks have rates sitting well above 6%, with CIBC basically at 6.5% on their 3-year and 5-year. And let's not even talk about variable. Those rates are just shy of 7%, sitting at 6.95% at most institutions right now. And this is what will make things tough over the next little while, because what the Bank of Canada does is one thing and how lenders respond is another. Just to put those rates into perspective, A $1 million mortgage right now, $1 million, costs $6,700 a month to carry. If that's a strata, tag on another $600 or so more in maintenance fees. Then you've got insurance, property taxes, and you're looking at around $8,000 a month all of a sudden just to put a roof over your head. Ultimately, I think a lot of people will hunker down and try to get through this period until rates start to ease off. At least the folks who can and who have a rainy day fund. I think where we will see a lot of inventory coming on will be in the investor condo market. Look, if you're holding on to 2 or 3 properties and they're all bleeding you on a monthly basis on top of your own mortgage being through the roof, you're probably thinking about liquidating as much as possible and fast right about now. But then it goes back to the other question. What first-time buyer is purchasing at 6.5%? What investor is purchasing at 6.5% for that matter? So things could get a bit sticky as we approach the fall market, and today's rate hike certainly didn't help. Just ask your mortgage broker how their pipeline is looking, and that should give you a good idea where sales volume is heading over the next several months. And look, I'll tell you, it's not looking rosy. As a result, realtors are also shifting their sales strategies once again. They're seeing fewer and fewer offer dates on new listings. We're going back to offers being presented on a first come, first served basis. Now, offer dates are still being used, but it has to be in the right circumstance. The price has to be very aggressive, meaning below market value. And even then, many buyers are also pricing in what they are seeing with mortgage rates when they're writing their offers. And they're coming in at well below asking price, even in multiple offer situations. So there is no doubt that there has been a tangible shift in buyer enthusiasm over the last little while. The question is, with our population rising faster than our interest rates, will it make a difference in the mid to long term? I continue to say, if you treat housing as a roof over your head rather than a chip at a casino, you will come out more than okay all the time. Real estate has proven time and time again to be one of the best long-term investments you can make. And considering that our population is rising while housing starts are dropping, that won't change. But in the short term, we may be in for some choppy waters. All right, that's it for me for this month. Thanks so much for watching. I'd love to hear how you think this will all play out in the comment section below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you right back here in about a month's time. Have a great summer, everyone.